Name, Landshark. Function, tough guy. Landshark is a redeco of one of my all-time favorite molds from Energon, and I was very excited to see this as part of the box set. This is a really, really cool toy, and if you've never owned one, this is definitely an upside to getting a hold of the box set. The deco on him is done in this really neat military green with a lot of bronze. The bronze is done in a similar metallic style to the Krylon silver, as you may be able to tell here. And it really lends an awesome quality to this redeco. It makes him look burly and tough. Now, the downside is that he doesn't photograph all that well. That bronze often turns orange, and orange was the main color of his predecessor. He is a very different deco, and in person I like him a lot more. I especially like the blue translucent used instead of the orange. But he has unfortunately lost all his electronics, and that is a shame, because Energon was the era that I felt really hit a good stride with electronics. They were unintrusive, they were often related to the transformation. This guy had some of the best ones. I wish I could demonstrate them, but his batteries have died a long time ago. The robot mode, however, has a few little problems, and there's a much grander problem that I'm going to explain later. Let's get to those robot modes. Landshark is a very striking robot mode. Much like his predecessor, it's imposing, and it's just loaded with character. And he still has, outside of the electronics, the gimmick of the little action base. His head is still the same as his predecessor, and in a bit of a downside, while it has the awesome Krylon silver added to it, the translucent blue that I did enjoy in the vehicle mode means you cannot see his eyes at all. If you look really closely, they're in there, but they don't shine through the translucent blue plastic at all. I think it's because it's too dark. The brass, though, and the green with the brown, it's an excellent color combo. And when put next to his predecessor, you can see that it's quite a difference. They certainly do look like two different guys, but we hit the same problem as Flack, really, in that while this looks awesome, I don't really care about him that much. He's Landshark. Don't ever call him Landmine, according to his bio. He's a large, tough guy. That's it. He does, however, bear the blessing of one of the coolest gimmicks ever, which is that this can turn into a Brute Pack. And I love the Brute Pack. So let's take a quick look at the Brute Pack. In this formation, Landshark can pull suckers towards his face and claw chums into oblivion. I love the Brute Pack. This thing is really, really cool. I know there are some people who take issue with just how monstrous it looks, but I feel that it's only to its credit. It takes a fairly buff-looking but normal robot and makes him into a monster machine of battle destruction. Sadly, though, there is a big problem with Landshark's configuration. There's also a minor paint problem that I have. It's actually a bit of a fun publication trademark at this point. As you can see on his predecessor, there's some pretty clear, neat paint apps on the fingers with the scraped paint and whatnot. You can see everything starkly against the orange. On Landshark, there are paint apps here. There really are, and you can kind of see them. They're more of that Krylon silver. Sadly, they're so muted that they can get lost against the green quite easily, especially in certain lighting conditions. Something that FunPub is incredibly good at is doing some really cool paint apps, but choosing colors that mush together on the palette, and unfortunately that is kind of the case here. Also, while this guy's brute mode is super tough, it's awesome, this guy's isn't. I think it might have just been a case of mold degradation or something like that, but these parts, they seem to click in place rather than peg in place, and then when they are there, a little tap and they come off. So, yeah, Landshark, I want to recommend him. I really do. I think he's an excellent recolor despite his obvious physical deformation there, and maybe it's just the case with mine, I'm not sure. But, the problem is he's just not epic enough as a convention exclusive. He's mundane. He's a really cool toy in a fairly cool paint app scheme, but there's nothing very memorable about him. And what really kills me is that the leader of this group, you'd think would be the biggest guy, the guy with the upgrade kit, the guy with the little gun turret thing, the big, awesome truck toy. The leader of this group is not Landshark. And the leader's color scheme would have fit Landshark perfectly, because the leader